Hello guys, it's Ign Hl04 and back with another Splinterlands video. In today's episode, we are going to take a look at the Soulbound Reward Cards. I know it's kind of an older topic, but we still haven't taken a look at the Death Dragon and neutral cards. I also want to show you which cards I were able to accumulate over the one reward I got. First up, I got 2 Musa. I haven't tried out this card yet. I am not quite sure if I will ever use it a ton, but the spell got buffed pretty heavily. It, for example, reduces the health of a Dr. Blight to 4 again if it hits, and it also reduces Bloodlust, so it's pretty decent. And I used the Fungus Flinger, so I used this card once in a snipe only rule set. I put him in the 3rd position next to I think it was a separate inspire. No, it were 2 dragon cards. I used him with 2 dragon cards. I used him with an infiltrator and a basilisk, and oh boy. 3 damage, double strike, 4 speed, 4 damage, 5 speed, 5 speed, 5. It was amazing. It was so great. And I really like the Mature ability. I think this ability is great. And also I got the Death card, which will go over in the future in just a moment. And these are all the cards I got. But first up, my name is Ign Hl04. I do Splinterlands content almost every single day, and if you like this type of content, please feel free to like and subscribe. So now let's look at the reward cards. At first, let's take a look at the death ones. There it is, the Possessed Puppy. On my alt account, I already own this card. I think in the Bronze League this card can make a difference. Personally, I would only play this card in the lower leagues. I think in the higher leagues there are other strategies that work out way better than just going for attack, because every time I play the death team, I want to demoralize the enemy so hard that they are trying to kill themselves with Thorns and Amplify. But overall, I think this card is actually great, but it's not. I think I will use it a lot in the low leagues, but in the high leagues, this card is too. It does 2 less damage, or it has 2 less hit points. It's too vulnerable to play it, I think. I don't think I will play this card very often, but we'll see about that in the future. But I'm kind of optimistic about this, that if a few key cards come, this will get a lot of play. Then we have the Willy Kyuden. I'm kind of disappointed about this card, and I'm still happy. So first, I'm disappointed this card had the dodge ability at level 1. All the way down. I think that was amazing. And I'd love this back, but I'm also like this card because it has 19 hit points with 9 hit points with 2 mana, which is perfectly and it's great, and it's a mini mana tank. I won't use this card a lot, but I will try to squeeze it in whenever I can. There's a possibility to do so, especially with the new summoner where you get the dodge ability and a double speed boost. Maybe also the resurrect ability. Then it has 6 speed, phase, dodge, and it gets resurrected once if it dies first. It can be pretty decent, and I actually like it. Although I also want to say there's another card which is a really good transition to it, which boosts all of my melee monsters. In the last level, it also has then more protection and also more Inspire. I also want to point out a lot of the lower mana death monsters don't have a lot of health. Like this one, it only has 2 health in the bronze. Now it's gonna get protect to 4, which is great. This card is a well needed addition to the death team, and I think it's gonna be played a lot in rule sets where I wanna use low mana and there's no deep blue team. We are not able to play the 2 team then. Also, it seems to playing a card we have here, the Octavia. I liked her way more with the -1 melee. I think this card would have been better, but I still think it's decent with the -1 health. It's nice that we can finally play Gladiator cards, but the artwork is just amazing. Look at the face, I love it. Then we're going to take a look at the card that I think will play the most out of these new reward cards, if I'm not 100% unsure about this, and if I I'm completely wrong about this, but it's the Will-O-Wisp. I think with the new ability, the new summoner, it has flying, dodge, and blind. So from any point with no flying monster, this card has a 65% dodge chance. Doesn't matter if you're faster or slower, but 65. I like it a lot. Then we also have to admit it gets the silence, because it's very weak against magic monsters. We are decently fast with 4 speed. I think it's kinda okay. Like, it's not slow, it's not that fast, but you can bring it up to 6, which is decently fast. And you also get the blind in the last spot with 12 hit points. I will grind for this card, I'd love to. Now we're gonna go to the first legendary. The first legendary is a perfect fit for the first card. First up, I want to show off his mouth. Look at this, it's just some tentacles from an octopus of it. And the artwork looks amazing. And we are finally able to play a double resurrect play in a dev team with the new summoner or this card, or with the dragon summoner and this card and Ushur. So overall, with the weapons training, gets 2 magic damage to near monsters with no attack, and that's great. And I think it will fit perfectly well to the team. It's a great support monster. It also does a lot of damage with the Fury ability, and I can't say anything bad about it. Then we take a look at the card we already got a look for. It's Usod, and Usod is really a tank. It's a low speed magic tank, which with Oppress, I don't think Oppress hasn't showed its full potential right now. It will get bigger as soon as more reward cards will come out. But with the healing ability, you can play this card in, what are these, poison rule sets? So you have a way better poison team right now. You can play Usad, you can play 2 other reward cards with immunity. You can play the new epic card. You can play the resurrect monster. You can play a lot of cards, like you can play Usad, Hawklaw, the new legendary death summoner. You can also play a, revealer. Then the Will-O-Wisp, because it has a decent amount of hit points. So my go-to team for immunity teams is now gonna be death for sure. Now let's take a look at some cards that are not 100% broken, but are pretty decent. Like, that's really pretty. First, the artwork is okay. It's already decent with the, look at it, the horn there and the princess. It looks amazing. And then we have +1 speed with gladiator cards. So good. We're gonna need for 115 BCX, and I hope there's some, in the future there will come other options to grind for cards like this. Now let's take a look at the epic card. This card, first when I saw it, it was completely broken. It already had the scavenge ability at the first level, but it also had another one which got removed. Unfortunately, it's the same one that Chimbilka has. But let's see, I haven't looked at it. How much did it change? Wow. Really? Really? That's it? Scavenge and redemption? Oh, it's so great. It's for 1 mana, 4 speed, 5 hit points. It's so great. I can't stand my urge to get and play this card on the max level. Wow, this is so amazing. It looks so good. I love it. Oh my god. The only thing good, to be fair, the only good thing about this card is the artwork. And let's move on. Let's move on from this disappointment. Like, it was so good, and now it's this. So we have a weapon transit card with the ranged ability. Okay. It's still decent with the True Strike, but it's not as overwhelming as it was before. We have a huge tank with 15 hit points, and also for damage it's very slow. I think it has better abilities before, but now it's just okay. It's a good tank if you can play in the first position, which is currently not available for those cards. The oppress ability, we have, yeah. It's a basic legendary. You will play it, but it's not that overwhelming, so those two got nerfed pretty hard, and I think the only card from the Dragon team I'm excited on getting is the new Summoner. That's all. And it's kind of disappointing they had such good assumptions there. Let's take a look at the neutral cards. We here have first the Bomber with the camouflage ability. So basically this card is gonna be decently strong. It has a few hit points there. It's with the camouflage, it's already ensured to hit the second shot. I actually don't know about the recharge ability there. I think the piercing is still great, especially there. This card starts to get interesting. Maybe you compare it with a what's his name? The live summoner. I don't play him a lot. The live summoner that gets +1 archery. You compare him with him in the final level. You're gonna demoralize your enemies with fury, especially against Cold Lurker. This card then does 4, 8, 12 damage a shot with piercing, which is basically amazing. And in certain circumstances, this card can be pretty good, I think. I also want it to be good because look at it, arc. Now we finally got a tank from the neutral team that is playable in a wide range of rule sets. Every monster now has finally gotten their Thorns monster. I'd love to play this card in Equalizer rule sets and also in rule sets where only melee monsters are allowed because of the Thorns and the shield. This is gonna be my number one main tank for my dev team, and I can assure you this, if there's a melee only rule set, I'm gonna play a triple demoralize with this beast in the front. Even if this card gets 2 attack, I don't care. I love it. They really changed him for the good, and I don't care about the retaliate. I care about the shield and the font, which is a great card. Like, it makes this card overall amazing. And I can't wait. Yeah, I'm giving this card a solid number. If it would rate it from 1 to 10, it's like decent. The Mark Thread. First up, when I saw this card, I was like, man, I don't know if it's so good. But now I'm like, yeah, this card is great. The only thing I think this card is great is because of maturability. If you're able to let this card die as the first monster that you died, then maybe get a resurrect or something, or who cares? It's gonna boost your team so much. Like, that's a card that needs to die, and it does the job perfectly well. And even if it gets a shot off, it helps you to shatter and snare your enemy, which is perfectly fine for me. Like, I saw the martyr ability once, and it's such an overly overpowered ability. And I think if you use it right, it can be pretty decent. And I'm happy to get a few copies of him. Now, unfortunately, of course, we don't get a rare summoner. Then we have the Clockwork 8. Please don't be as bad. I haven't looked at you because I didn't want to do it. Please don't be as bad as the death card. You were so overpowered. What happened to you? Where's the slow? Where's everything else? I have to admit, we still got the Rust, which is great. We still got the Strengthen, which is great. But we're missing the slow and the Inspire. This card had Swiftness, slow and Inspire, which was a 1 card 2 speed boost. I'm still fine with this card. It's a level 1 speed boost, which is amazing. We can now finally play a triple speed. Oh my god, it's gonna be broken. With a Yasik, this card is gonna... Oh my god, Yasik and Coral Lurker and 3 times speed. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yep. I actually still like this card. It's not as overpowered as it has been. I still think it's a great addition to your team, especially in Equalizer rule sets. And it's just there as a tag. I can't say anything bad about this card. It's just not as good as it was before. And now let's take a look at the last legendary. And I thought this card is pretty strong with the double strike. It finished off with 2 archery and 3 melee. Let's see if this changed. No, it stayed the same. And this card is still pretty decent. I actually like to own this card. First up, the artwork is great. Also pairs well with the legendary one. I'm kind of like, yeah, why not? Why not getting this card? I'm not fully convinced about it, but I still think it's decent. And it does the job. It does 4 damage, 6-10 damage per turn, with maybe a little bit help, 12 damage per turn. And I can't complain. The only thing that I have to say about it is it's slow, and it's not a good tank. But you can definitely make this card work. And that's gonna be the last card I want to show you for today. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. And if you do, please feel free to like and subscribe, and also comment down below on what cards you're most excited on. And I also want to point out, we still have a few spaces left in our guild. We're currently doing pretty well, but we have 2 places left if you want to still join us. And if you do, we'll talk to you soon. I wish you an amazing rest of the day. Bye.